How do you spread the gospel to people and convert them to Christianity? It's the opposite of what you think. Hey guys, welcome back to KingdomCraft, where we build churches in Minecraft while talking about Christianity, except I'm gonna leave this place, I'm gonna leave my house finally, and I'm giving this entire sanctuary to John the Independent Fundamental Baptist Jr. over here, because this whole thing was built as a retreat. I retreated from my original church, St. Athanasius Presbyterian Church, because it got taken over by the pink sheep. I retreated and tried to start over by building this, but as always happens when people retreat from a mainstream institution and try to start their own brand new thing, this wasn't nearly as good. It wasn't nearly as pretty, it wasn't nearly as developed, so I'm gonna begin the really insanely long journey back to my old church, and I'm gonna cross through all of the newly formed different provinces for each denomination on the way back. I'm gonna sort of take the scenic route back. I'm taking the long way back. And today I'm gonna talk about spreading the gospel. And my method for spreading the gospel actually has to do with not running away from institutions somehow. So, it's a common question I get. One of the most common questions when that I have from people who are trying to give me ideas for videos, or just in general, people want me to give them advice, is how do I preach the gospel to people? How do I preach the good news about Jesus to people and help them convert to Christianity? And my advice is, don't try too hard. And I think I'm a bit qualified to give advice. So, brag alert here. Recently, I did a feedback poll for my YouTube subscribers, asking them if my channel impacted them in any way. I normally don't like to talk about myself or my own channel, but because I'm giving advice about how to evangelize, I think I can share some strategies that have actually helped me evangelize. So about 16,000 people answered the poll so far. That's only a very small sampling of my 430,000 subscriber YouTube base. But out of 16,000 people, 6% of them, which is quite a lot, which is over, I think it's over 1,000 people. I think 6%, or at least, dang it, what's 16 times 7? It's over, 7% of 16,000 is over 1,000. So, over 1,000 people responded saying my videos made them go from not Christian to Christian. Now, of course, all the glory goes to God, and it's not me that converted anyone, it's God that converts people. But I did share the gospel with 1,000 people, and as a result, over 1,000 people converted. So I think I'm a bit qualified to give advice, and I know what strategies work and which ones don't, because I actually used to have a different channel and Instagram account called Gospel for the Least, where I had a very, very different approach, and it didn't work at all. I didn't help a single person, even though I really, really tried. I was in high school. I was in late high school when I made Gospel for the Least, and it was a much more soft and gentle approach than I have now, and it was a much more explicitly evangelistic approach where I tried to actually persuade people to become Christian. But that didn't work. The only thing that page got me was, well, a girlfriend who I'm gonna actually marry in a few days. So that was something, but like my fiance was very impressed that I was trying to reach people with the gospel, but honestly the thing she did, which was starting an online Zoom Bible study, was much more fruitful than the thing I did, starting an evangelistic Instagram and YouTube page. So that's why I think it is very hard to ever convince anyone to be Christian. It is very hard to have private conversations with people where you just try and convince them to be Christian. And a lot of times I'll hear people claiming that they did that, claiming that they, I prayed with this person accepted Jesus, but it's like, okay, check in on them a little bit later, see if they still believe in Jesus several months or years down the road. And that could be true of the 1,000 people who said they became Christian as a result of my videos. I'm well aware of that. But in my experience, I'm not some, amazing evangelist, because I have talked to many people in my life trying to get them to become Christian. I came from a very, very atheist high school. I think with one exception, I was probably the only devout Christian in my entire high school grade. there was this one Korean Methodist kid, the son of a Korean Methodist pastor, who joined my high school right before the pandemic, right before everything shut down, and he was great. He also tried to evangelize people too, but he was also completely unsuccessful. I wish I'd gotten to know him better, but the pandemic shut down everything before I could. So I had many conversations with my secular classmates, my secular family. I'll tell you this, I have not once ever even come close to making someone become Christian by having a private one-on-one conversation with them where I try to convince them to be Christian. So what did I do differently on my Redeemed Zoomer YouTube channel? So what I think I did, the strategy that I employed was, I didn't try and convince people to be Christian. I simply explained Christianity to make it make sense to them. And that goes hand in hand with my Calvinist theology, because according to Calvinist theology, we don't convert anyone. It's God that converts people. Humans never convert other people. They never even convert themselves. Calvinists believe that anytime someone converts, it's the irresistible grace of the Holy Spirit. So anytime someone converts, God chooses to convert them to Christianity. But God doesn't do this spontaneously. It's not like there's random people in an island in the middle of nowhere who suddenly decide, hey, I'm gonna become Christian even if they've never heard of Jesus. God could do that if he wanted to, but that's just not the way God normatively operates. I wouldn't put it past God to do that sometimes in special cases, to give people miraculous visions. I actually have heard stories of Muslims in Muslim countries where there's like no exposure to Christianity converting because they've had dreams about Jesus. So I think God does do that to people sometimes. But generally, God works through means. And the normative means of grace are the word and sacraments preached by the institutional church. So, the church is the means God works through to convert people. And of course, the church includes the theology of the church. So what I've done in most of my most watched videos is just explained the theology of the church in a way that makes sense to people. Yes, I do have very biased videos. All my KingdomCraft videos, like this one, are extremely biased. But if you're watching this, you're probably one of my more loyal subscribers who watches everything I put out, even the sort of sucky things, right? That's what most of my most loyal subscribers watch. But most of my subscribers, the vast majority of my views, come from like my top 20 videos, which are just those explainer videos. And I'm gonna brag for a second time in this video, I unlocked the secret to get like a lot of subscribers really, really quickly. My secret is just make a short explainer video that explains things like you're an idiot. I mean, I kind of stole that style from Bill Wirtz and Oversimplified, but I was the first to pioneer the whole blank explained in 10 minutes using Microsoft Paint and Comic Sans, like a really simple style, and also having like little circle logos to represent everything. The first channel to copy my style on that was the Paint Explainer. The Paint Explainer secularized my style and then overtook me in terms of subscribers, and it's fine for him to do that because I stole a lot of my style from Bill Wirtz. Everything online is just people copying each other, and then like 30 channels copied his style. But basically, I used explainer videos to explain Christianity objectively and unbiasedly. So, while most of my KingdomCraft videos are admittedly very biased, I'm not ashamed of how biased these videos are. They are extremely biased, and I'm happy that they're biased, because I like to communicate what I think is the truth. My most watched videos are unbiased explanations of Christianity, whether it's explaining the different denominations of Christianity, or explaining what each book of the Bible is about, or explaining what the story of the Bible is, or explaining, church history from an objective standpoint. All I'm doing is presenting people with the church and the theology of the church, and it's God's choice whether he wants to work through that to save souls. Right? So it's God that does all the conversion. So, you shouldn't really be trying to convince people to convert, because nobody is going to be converted by their own intellect or by their own will. They're going to be converted by God changing their hearts. So what you can do with your friends is talk about Christianity and explain Christianity to them if they have questions. But when you do so, try to act very neutral and unbiased. if they sense you are trying to convert them, their defensive walls will go up, and they'll feel like you're imposing your own beliefs and agendas on them. That generally doesn't work. So, here is another thing that I would say is very powerful when it comes to converting people. You know, God works through means, and the normative means is the church. The stronger the church is, the more likely people are to convert. It is more important for the institutional church to be strong, healthy, and preaching the gospel than it is for individuals to have powerful conversion experiences. Because the institutional church is the means of grace that God normally works through to convert people. It looks like I just entered this Dutch Reformed town. I'm in the province of Kyperia now, the Dutch Reformed province on my Minecraft server. So I've made it back to civilization over here. And yeah, these churches, they look kind of established. So that reminds me, when you are trying to evangelize to someone, it is crucial for there to be a healthy, established institutional church near you for you to invite them to, because your preaching as a layperson is not the means that God normatively works through to convert people, it's the church. So what I would say is for you to have an impact on people and help people convert. I mean, most of you guys are not YouTubers like me, so for most of you guys, making, big YouTube videos that explain Christianity is not an option. But here's something you can do. You can get involved in your local mainline Protestant church and help build up the church. The reason society is so secular these days is not because there aren't enough people trying to convert other people. We have plenty of those. There's street preachers in lots of cities these days in America still. Look, this is a nice Dutch Reformed church over here. There's street preachers in a lot of cities, so that's not the problem. The problem is there's a lack of a strong institutional church in America. The historic institutional churches of America were the mainline Protestant churches. Not the Roman Catholic Church, not the Eastern Orthodox Church, not non-denominational churches, not conservative offshoots like the PCA or the ACNA. It was the mainline Protestant churches. Having an established church strong in your society works wonders. The one part of America that's still religious is the South, because the established church of that region, the Southern Baptist Church, is still relatively strong and healthy. And I have my criticisms of Baptist theology, but I gotta hand it to them to keeping their mainstream institution pretty healthy and theologically sound. So I think the best way to preach the gospel to people is not by going up to random individuals and trying to convince them to be Christian. It's by strengthening the availability of the means of grace by building up the church. And the beautiful thing about Protestantism is everyone can contribute to creating things within the church. If you're like a Christian who knows a decent amount about Christianity, you can join your local mainline Protestant church, whether it's Episcopalian or United Methodist or UCC or Presbyterian Church USA, and you can go up there and offer to teach a Sunday school class, and 9 out of 10 times they will let you, because most of those mainline churches are starved for volunteers. They are starved for leadership. They hand out leadership positions like free candy. That would never happen in a Catholic church. You can't just go up to a Catholic church and say, hey, can I teach a Bible study? But in a Protestant church, you can, because Protestantism has this intellectual freedom that is a breeding ground for creativity. That's why Protestant men have been the most creative people in human history. Not to say Catholic people haven't, but just on a larger per capita scale when it comes to traditional mainline Protestantism. So, I'm trying to see if there's any mine carts here I can use. Doesn't seem like I'll have to walk this track. But basically, you can be involved in creating strong local churches in your community. So if you want to evangelize to people around you, if you want to evangelize to your local community, join your local established historic mainline church and build it up, because chances are that church is full of boomers. Chances are that church has no energy left in it. Revitalize that church. Invite any Christian friends you might have to help rebuild that church with you. Come on, KingdomCraft Minecraft is supposed to inspire young men to be involved in building the church. The whole point of this series is we build churches in Minecraft while we talk about Christianity, but building churches in Minecraft is meant to inspire you guys to help build up the church in real life. Oh, hey, there's this guy over here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, that's nice. I passed a passenger over here. I'm back in civilization. Yay, I'm in the Dutch Reformed province over here. Maybe I'll just stop at this town. So yeah, building up the church in Minecraft is meant to inspire people to build up the church in real life. And yes, it's tragic that the mainline Protestant churches are dying out, but there's also an opportunity for young men, like I'm assuming most of you watching this, and young women, by the way, too. I'm not excluding young women here. I'm just saying generally it's young men that have this big drive to help create things and build up the church and help spread good theology within the church. But if this describes you and you're a young woman or an old man, then God bless, you can participate in this as well. But I do know that a lot of churches, a lot of mainline churches need young people. So I do think that the way to reach a lot of people, the way historically tons of people have become Christian, is not with individuals trying to convince them to become Christian. It's with powerful, large, established Christian institutions existing in society. Historically, whenever a country has been, majority Christian, there have been powerful Christian institutions in that country. And whenever a country has not had those things, it has not been majority Christian. And that's why America is already majority not Christian. Nominally, it's majority Christian, but in terms of, actual people who attend church and stuff, it is not majority Christian at all whatsoever. And this is a really nice Dutch Reformed town over here. America is no longer a Christian nation, but it needs to be a Christian nation once again. And for that to happen, it needs to have strong, established, powerful, institutional churches, just like it used to have up until basically 1960. It's not that hard to make it happen again. So that's why I'm saying this project I'm suggesting, building up the church, can't really start in non-denominational churches. I think non-denominational churches should all just join the Southern Baptist Convention or something, because the church is always stronger when it's united. It needs to be more united. So, and the reason non-denominational churches never build strong universities or hospitals is because they're not united. They don't have enough resources because they're just a bunch of people winging it. So we need to have strong, established mainline Protestant denominations. The quickest way to get that back is just to get involved in reviving your local mainline church. Yes, you will encounter liberalism, but it's not very masculine to run away from a challenge like that. The masculine thing is to conquer things. The masculine thing is to change things and help shape them in the image of what they should be. So there's lots of opportunity here. There is opportunity for you as an individual to have a powerful impact on your local church, to have a powerful impact in building up the church. Now, so far, I've sort of said there's not much you can do to influence people in your life. You just need to help build up the church so it's easier for people to come to Christ in general. But I will say this. If the people in your life, your friends and family who might not be Christian yet, if the people in your life see you actually building up something that's powerful and building up a powerful and institutional church that can help society in various ways, such as with their food pantries, such as helping the poor in other ways, they will be impressed. And I guarantee you, if you dedicate yourself to building up the church in ways that are objectively helpful to all of society, I guarantee you people will ask you questions about that. And maybe they won't convert in that moment, and maybe you answering their questions isn't going to automatically convert them. Man, these Dutch Reformed churches are beautiful. I love these Dutch Calvinist churches in this Dutch Calvinist province. Yeah, maybe it won't immediately convert them. Maybe your conversation with them won't immediately convert them. But it will, I think, give you more opportunities to talk about your faith with people than if you just try to approach them yourself and strike up a conversation about faith with zero context. Because, let me tell you this. Recently, I had an engagement party, and a lot of my extended family and friends attended. And, I come from a secular New York Jewish culture. These are liberal, secular New York Jews. That is the demographic I was working with. But when they found out about my YouTube channel and, they found out that I'm literally getting thousands of people back into church, they asked me questions about Christianity, and they told me I've never been thinking about Christianity so much, but now I'm thinking about it a lot. Now, did I convert my friends and and family? No. I haven't converted a single person that I know by name. Let me tell you that. And of course, it's God that converts anyone. No human ever converts anyone else. But unless you're talking about Jesus according to his humanity, but you know what I mean. I haven't led anyone I personally know to Christ. I've helped some people I know personally in their journeys, but for most of them it would have happened without me as well. So all I'm saying is have less of an individualistic attitude towards conversion. It's not individual conversations, it's not one-time prayers that will convert people. Fundamentally, it's God that converts people, but the means God works through is the church, and the more powerful, established, and institutional the church is, the larger of a scale it's going to convert people on, or at least the larger of a scale it has the ability to convert people on. There's many examples of large, powerful, institutional churches that have the ability to convert people on a large scale, but they don't do it because they're not preaching the gospel. And this was true of the mainline churches like 30 years ago when they started to decline. They were very large and very powerful, but they stopped preaching the gospel, and that's why they started dying out. So guys, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. For the next, 12 or so videos, I'm just going to be touring all the different parts of my world, so no need to speed anything up. I'll see you guys later. God bless.